So we made it back from Mexico. I don't know, it's not obvious exactly, but I just woke up like not too long ago. We're in San Diego, in a place called Torrey Pines. There was this guy last night. I don't know who it was. I never saw who it was, but he kept yelling "woo" like every half hour until about 4 in the morning. Yeah, I don't think anybody really got any sleep last night. But hold on, I think my camera is dirty. I don't know. Forget to clean the camera. I kind of have a gift for forgetting to clean the camera. So I think a lot of you know that, because I've mentioned it, that the car that I'm sitting in was given to us because I saved a man's life on the 154 highway in Santa Barbara, California. I mean, that was the Holy Spirit working through me. It really wasn't me. All praise to the Most High. But I was recognized for it. So when we were in Mexico just recently, and there's a reason why I'm saying this. When we were down in Mexico just recently, we were in, what's it called? Baja, California. Like pretty much as far south as you can go. We were down by the Tropic of Cancer, like, well, I found myself in Los Barriles. I didn't have much money to begin with. I didn't have enough money to get, for gas to get back. I didn't. I had enough maybe to feed us and find some work and wait for, like the first of the month to come around. And that was it. Like really, I didn't have much. And there was one day when I went looking for dog food. I went to, I don't know if it was 5 places or 4 places, but I really don't remember. It had been so hot that day. I don't have location history on my Maps app, so I couldn't look back exactly where I was. I had walked to a couple different places, like parked the car and then walked, and I hadn't really slept very well the night before because of the humidity. Bell. So I didn't remember. I had a hard time remembering, like, I had been fasting for like a day at that point, and I was really focused on getting dog food for Bella, or at least finding something, because she was hungry. Bella, please stop, baby. And it's difficult for me to watch her, like, be uncomfortable for very long, or be hungry if there's something I can do about it, So I don't want to say it was stolen. I don't want to say my purse was stolen, because I genuinely don't. I don't think it was. But I think I set it down somewhere, and it was gone. It was really windy that day. We had been having back-to-back solar storms. Really windy. I mean, gusting winds and sustained winds. And I'm pretty sure I just set it down somewhere and like drove away with it on the car or something like that. But either way, it was gone. What little money I had was totally gone. And like, first instinct is to like freak out, right? But I was actually very much at peace. I mean, I felt like I should be scared, but I wasn't scared. Anyway, that went on for about 5 days. I really couldn't figure out what I was going to do or where I was going to go, or like, I couldn't. The thing was that the biggest thing to me was Bella. I can't just, not feed her for 5 days? That doesn't work. So I left where we were, where I lost my purse, and because we stayed there for several days, and I went back. I don't think anybody found it. I'm pretty sure if anybody had found it, they would have turned it in. So, because well, not turned it in, but I think they would have, said, hey, we found this. There wasn't very much in it to begin with, but anyhow, so I went to a place called Los Bariles. Drove there. I didn't have hardly any gas. I didn't know what might be in Los Bariles, like, not really. I stopped at a place on the way that I was pretty sure somebody there would speak English, and spoke to a lady.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Oh.
And confirmation. I spoke to a lady. I explained to her what happened, and she told me to go to this place called Los Bariles. So I was already on my way there, but after hearing what she had to say, she told me there was a bar there. So I go to this bar in Los Bariles. I'm not a drinker. I don't hang out at bars, but like, this was a place that I went to because I could find other Americans, like people speaking English, in other words, there. And that was one of the problems, was like I couldn't really explain what happened because I don't speak enough Spanish to explain that situation. Oh my god, you're so pretty. I cannot with you. Look at how pretty. She's so pretty. So pretty, so pretty, so pretty. With a side of pretty and extra pretty sauce. I just think she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Messy Bomahide noodle butt. I love you so much. Are you pretending that the camera's not here? Look at you. Oh, you're so pretty. Messy Bomahide. I'm thoroughly in love with my dog. Anyway, so I make it to this bar. We make it to this bar, and I was there the first day, and I think I asked to use somebody's phone, but like it was later in the evening and whatever. And then the next day, like, I used the Wi-Fi, and then the next day I showed up. And I asked to speak with the owner so I could use like the restaurant phone or like an office phone or something where I can actually make a phone call. And there's a man named Chris Moyers there, and he, despite him, he was very busy and everything like that, but and he had like a lot going on, like in his personal life too, I guess. I'm just gathered from some of the things that he said to me. But he took the time out to get us a hotel room, me and Bella, and get me some food that night. Super grateful because I hadn't eaten, and luckily I had gotten some food for Bella by that time. But I mean, that was like the first time I had a shower, and I don't know, it had been at least like a week by that point. I think maybe 2 weeks, because I hadn't showered really except in the public shower. In, where was that? I think it was in San Lucas. Yeah, Cabo San Lucas. I took a shower at the bath, like the public bath, public beach shower. The water was disgusting. I remember, because it made my body stink, which is like not normal for me. So anyway, but that night we had a bed to sleep in, and food to eat, I mean, Bella had food to eat, but I had food to eat. And we had AC, so Bella and I got to sleep together and snuggle, which is like my favorite thing to do, snuggle with my dog. And it was really nice. It was really, really kind of him, very generous of him to do. And so then Bella and I, you know, kind of hung around the bar because I didn't really know of any other place I could really get Wi-Fi, like consistent Wi-Fi. And the Wi-Fi in Mexico is like really good. Most of the public Wi-Fi's in United States, they suck. But Wi-Fi is actually really pretty fast and works really well in Mexico as far as my experience. And I'm pulling the paint out of my... So then, like, a couple of days went by. Chris fed me a dinner while I was there. So I had like a meal, you know, a hot meal every day. And let's see what else. Then he had this idea of putting out a call on Facebook for help, like for gas money help, and kind of like what people did for the GoFundMe. And like, I did not solicit this from him. This was his idea. And so then he puts it out there, and I told him, you know, like, you're helping a good person. Like, you know, I think I remember like mentioning the you know, the hero business that is online, but I don't think he really listened to me because, like, you know, people are scammers and things like that. So he puts out this call on Facebook. I mean, not everybody is, but you know what I mean. And he puts out this call on Facebook, and and somebody recognizes me, like recognizes my name or recognizes my face. I don't think he posted a picture of me at first, but they must have recognized my name. And then they posted the article of saving that man's life on the 154 highway. So then, like, people know, you know, I am not a scammer, I'm not lying, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, scamming people, like, trying to get their money, you know? So, anyway, he told me that, like, 2 days after I think he posted it on Facebook, confirmation, and he was kind of relieved, you know, to, like, kind of know who he was doing this for, because before that it was just kind of like a total shot in the dark for him. So, my skin has been breaking out since we got back from Mexico. Like, ugh, so gross. Ugh. Like, ugh. Anyway, I'm trying not to pick at it. Like, I got, like, zits right here, and, like, zits right here, and zits right here. I think it's because my pillowcase is really dirty. It's totally gross. Blech. Anyway, so then, I took a couple days for him to get the donations together. You know, because he's a business owner, he's a busy guy. And, I was walking down on the beach, ouch, in, Los Barriles one day. The Lord asked me to take a walk. And I really didn't want to. It was a really warm day.
Oh.
Excuse me, confirmation. And,
Oh.
excuse me.
Oh.
Triple confirmation. And, I was kind of arguing with him, like, I don't really want to walk anymore, and he asked me, just walk a little bit further. So I did, confirmation again, and, there was a man there who was living on the beach, and his name is Andy, and I think he's old, I'm pretty sure he's older than me, but his ankles, like, his left ankle was, like, he had broken his ankle. I think he had a compound fracture in his ankle. And he told me for 15 months he's been on crutches. And I mean, it's very swollen, it's infected and like just gnarly. And so I laid hands on him and prayed for him in his ankle. I genuinely hope it heals. He's an athlete, like he's a very active person. But with that ankle, he's not been very active. And he's got a dog named Trini. Like an older dog, just an older dog. 1543 on the timer. And anyhow, I kind of hung around there because it was a safe place to stay on the beach. I mean, it's safe. We were safe everywhere we went, honestly. There was one situation in La Paz that was kind of freaky. It was kind of weird. But I don't think we were in danger. Like, it was uncomfortable situation, but it wasn't danger. And, anyway, just to kind of, like, stick around somebody else that, like, is an American and that I know kind of a little bit. And he was really chill. His energy's really chill. Really strong person, too. Like his friends came around to see him, and I got to meet them too, and, kind of I don't know, just met more people in Los Bariles, which was cool. I think it was a really chill place, actually. Anyhow, then finally, I think it was like 3 or 4 days, maybe 5. I think it was like 4 days after Chris had put the call out on Facebook, and he actually called Andy, because of course they know each other. They're not friends exactly, but they know each other. So Chris called Andy through Facebook, because I didn't have any phone service this whole time. Chris called Andy through Facebook, I think it was. Facebook or WhatsApp, I don't remember which it was. And to get a hold of me, to tell me that, a couple $100 in donations had come through. So I went and I picked up the money from Chris, and we left that day. Bella and I left that day. We left Los Bariles, I think, like between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. It was something like that. It was still fairly early in the afternoon. I drove until... I didn't drive very long the first day. I drove like 6 hours the first day. Excuse me, confirmation. I drove something like 6 hours. And we stopped. I don't know, there wasn't a name for this town. It wasn't a town. It was like a house. Anyway, I remember seeing a shrine there, and there was a big group of people building a fire. So I stopped the car and asked what they were doing. And they said that their bus had broken down, so they were building a fire so that the people that were coming to help them could find them more easily, because they didn't have lights. They didn't have hazard lights or anything. So we were there, I think, until they were there, and we were there until like 11 o'clock. And then they left, and the amount of stars in the sky, I don't think I've ever seen that many stars. I think I saw more stars than I've ever seen in my life. Stars that I had never seen. And I've seen a lot of stars in Mexico. Beautiful sky. Just like God's love letter written in the sky. So beautiful. Like, I mean, I've seen places with very little light pollution, like Utah, and driven all across the United States, seeing the stars and all, but this, it was something else. The next day, I got up, I think, between like 7:30 and 8, something like that, and I started driving. Well, I was driving until 4:30 in the morning. I drove over 20 hours that day. And into the next, into the next night. We drove from, I don't know, I remember exactly where we were. But we were south of Loretto. I know that. We weren't, wait, maybe we were just outside of Loretto. I don't honestly remember. I think we had just gotten to, like, outside of Loretto. And I drove all the way from Loretto to the border that day. It took me 20 hours to get to the border from where we were. So, like, I guess you could backtrack and figure out kind of where I was. But another thing about it is, like, it's not like freeways. Like, if you're driving from Louisiana to Florida or something, it's not like all a constant speed. Like, it's not like that. Some of the highways are really windy. Some of them are really fucked up, like with what do you call it? Potholes. Thank you. I could not remember that for a second. Potholes. And so it's like, you slow down or speed up depending on the condition of the highway, really. So it wasn't like I was going at constant speed. At one point, the frickin' check engine light came on. I think it's just the sensor from when that mouse was living underneath in our engine compartment. That fucking mouse. But every once in a while, that check engine light will go on, and it doesn't seem to be related to anything. It went off probably like 2 weeks ago, and it just so happened that the car was really low on oil, but that's not why it went off, because that's not the check oil light or the at oil temp light. Like, it's not any of that. It's not attached to that. But when that goes off, I tend to check the car, because it is a check the engine light, But yeah, that engine light was going on and off and on and off. It would go on, and at first I'd be like, well, should I check it? Should I check it? Is it this? Is it that? And the father would be like, it's fine. Relax. It's fine. And I'd be like, are you sure? Are you sure? I love asking God if he's sure. Of course he's sure. He's always right, too. Always. Anyway, I think that second day I drove for like 4 hours with the check engine light on. It finally just went off by itself. The car wasn't overheated. It wasn't 2313 on the timer. I've been seeing 231 everywhere. 144 everywhere. Even throughout all of Mexico, I saw it. Apparently, where we were in Los Bariles, their prefix is 144. I didn't know that. There's so many things. Like, the father told me that my numbers would change, but he told me they would follow me. Like, other numbers would follow me. The 231 has followed me everywhere. It's incredible. It's just incredible. And the 231 on a Mexican peso, I know it's not actually 231, but on the 10 peso piece, if you flip it upside down, it looks like 2310. The DAs, the DIEZ, it looks like 2310. It's totally weird. God, is so weird. So anyway, we made it back. We had a little bit of money. When I crossed the border, one of my friends gave me a little bit of money. Thank God. Thank you, girlfriend. She's a lady I met at Camp Miller doing Hurricane Helene relief. And I'm kind of making this out like it was easy. It was not easy. It was hot, really hot. And on top of the heat, it was very humid. I did manage to have dog food for Bella, but I didn't eat much while I was there, which is probably actually for the better because all the bacteria, literally the shit in the water. Like, don't go to Mexico. If you're not healthy, don't go. It's gross. It's gross. Like, the food, like, I had some of the stinkiest farts I have ever smelled come out of my own body. Like, oh my God. Maybe that's TMI, but holy sheep shit, Batman. It was horrendous. And it's the food. It's the food mixed with, because my stomach was pretty upset a couple days. With the crap in the water, literally there's a lot of crap in the water. Like, if you're not healthy, if you don't have a strong immune system, which is basically your digestive system is your immune system, I wouldn't recommend going to Mexico. It's kind of harsh unless you're staying in hotels and everything's you know, like luxury free. Don't go. It's gnarly. It's a hardcore experience. It's hot. It's humid. It's long hours driving. It's really dry in a lot of places. So it's just like driving through the middle of the desert. You kind of need to keep a bag of ice with you to not be totally fucking miserable. Like, you have to be like a mentally, really, like, physically and mentally strong person to be there. I didn't really anticipate that part of it, but thank goodness the Father has made me very strong. So, I mean, I was all right. There was one day I was just crying. I had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't know there were some fishermen on the beach that gave me a fish that day. God, it's so weird. But I have pictures of it. I just put this whole fish, I mean, I gutted it and everything, but this whole fish, eyeballs and bones and scales and everything, just tossed it in my frying pan. Cooked that fucker up. I was hungry. I don't really like fish very much, but it wasn't bad. I shared it with Bella. I forget what they called this fish, coche. I think coche. Anyway. But yeah, these fishermen gave me a fish one day. I got the car stuck in wet sand, and they pulled us out. They pulled me out. I was calling them my saint, the saints, Los Santos. I was calling them Los Santos for the rest of the time we were on that beach, because it was just like a beach in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't like, there was a beach that was like close to there, but I couldn't reach it. Anyway, it was like the next closest beach. But this place is like major washboard. I think it's just because of water erosion, but like the whole place of like, it like kind of ruins your suspension driving through here too fast. I see people do it though. Anyway, in Santa Barbara before we left for Mexico, which is like weird because the Lord literally, I woke up and within the hour the Lord had asked me to leave for Mexico, and I did. Like, I just left. Like, within that hour. That morning we left from California to Mexico. I only stopped to get gas. I didn't stop for anything else. I didn't do anything, didn't get anything, didn't talk to anyone. Nothing. Oh, man, no. So pretty. But that was that. But a couple days before that, I had met a lady at the beach in Santa Barbara. Her name is T. Her name is actually Tawilla, but she goes by T. And she and I got to talking. I had, you know, it was our first time meeting. She and I got to talking, and she told me about this place, Torrey Pines, in San Diego. So when we came back from Mexico, we had a place to go, which is cool. I'm stoked on that. Very stoked. And yeah. So we've been hanging out here. Made a couple friends already. People have been really cool. Pretty much it's just like a parking lot of everybody. Well, it's not really a parking lot. It's like a cliff top parking lot. of like a bunch of people living in their cars. So everybody's pretty good to each other. You know, like it's pretty chill. The kind of crazier stuff goes on the other side, and you know, the kind of like chill, you know, we're just living in our cars. People were kind of on this side. And yeah, apparently there's like a nude beach down the cliffs or something. I mean, it doesn't interest me. I'm fine. I've seen plenty of naked bodies in my life. I'm good, including my own. And my nude. I love it when I take off her collar. I call her Naked Dog. Yeah. Good, you're so pretty. But I guess there's a lot of like sex that goes on down there. I couldn't be less interested in any of that. I've had plenty of sex in my life too. I'm not interested. I should say like plenty of like fornication. I shouldn't say it was sex because it really wasn't. It was fornication in my life. Anyhow, God hates sexual immorality. He just hates it. Not because he hates sex. God doesn't hate sex. God literally like created sex. However, when we misuse it, he hates that. I don't blame him. It's a total disaster when humans do that. Anyway, we made it back. Yeah. Car's intact. We're intact. I have to fast though because that water, like the ocean water is what I'm talking about. It was a lot of a lot of crap, for lack of a better word. Like it smelled like shit, the water. But there was a lot of nasty in the water. But I got to pass. That's when my skin is breaking out. Like my body just absorbed a lot of bacteria that I don't need. So fasting's the only way I know of to kill any kind of bacterial infection and or just like overgrowth of bacteria in the body. So anyhow, I found this book. If you find this book, I highly recommend reading it. It's called Fearfully Made by D.E. Aston. I found this on the shelf of the hotel down in Los Barriles. This book. I knew it was for me. Somehow I knew it was for me. It's a great book. I think it's funny, and it's also like it's a book I would totally read. I probably never would have even known that book was ever written unless I had gotten myself stranded in Mexico, in Baja California. 3, 2, 1 on the timer. Anyway, I hope this video finds you blessed. People have said to me, you know, I wish I was that brave. I wish I was brave and ever had the balls to just do what you do. And I'm like, you know what? It's really not me. I'm a pretty brave person. I always have been. But at the same time, it's God that makes me brave. It's God that makes me so brave that I just like run into things and I'm like, okay, here I am. I don't depend on myself. It's not me necessarily. It's the Holy Spirit in me. It's really not about what we can do. It's about what the Holy Spirit can do through us when we get out of the way. And even though like Mexico's not really, or like Baja California is not really somewhere I would necessarily want to go back to necessarily, it treated us well, and we were fine, and we were safe, and we were together, me and Bella, and it turned out great. It turned out good. So, you know, laying down your life to the Father is really what gives us that extra oomph, you know. But this place is really pretty. The clouds are out this morning, thank goodness, because it like makes it a nice cool morning. But, I hope this video finds you blessed. I constantly hang on to the Lord. That I was constantly praying in Mexico. Of course, I'm constantly praying anyway, so. But, yeah. Love, blessings, and compassion to everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Peace be with you.